Hi everybody, thanks for watching this video. This is a tutorial on how to build in Mesozoica. And just so you know, I am new to the game. I just bought it yesterday, January 2nd, when it came out. I wasn't part of the Kickstarter campaign, and I wasn't part of the alpha testing, so this is new to me as well. So I'm going to load up a park. I named my park Finally because the game is finally out. And we're going to just build some structures so you can see how it works. Okay, so we're in, and you can see I have an empty park. It's sandbox mode, so I have as much money as I need to show you how to build in this game. So first, what you need to know is that there is a grid on the map here, and it's currently invisible. And I've put in a suggestion to the development team to make the grid visible when you click the build button. And that would be really helpful for figuring out where you want to place your buildings. So what I figured out about the grid is that the paths follow the grid. So if you want to build a path, the path will snap to the center of the grid. If you want to build a fence, the fence snaps to the edge of the grid. And that's important when you go to build buildings because most of the buildings in Mesozoica won't allow you to use them if the entrance doesn't connect to a path. So if you want to build something in Mesozoica and you want it to be a permanent structure that you can use over again, or a structure that you want to share with your friends, you go to you build it in a blueprint. You can see Mesozoica has built for us a pre-made house. It's cute. But that's really all they gave us. So you use blueprints to build custom buildings for yourself, and you can save them so that you don't have to build them over and over and over again. To make a blueprint, you actually go to the Build tab, and you click this New Blueprint button. And it's very important to do that before you start building. I'll show you why a little bit later. So you make a new blueprint, you go to Blueprint Settings, and you write a name for your blueprint. I'm going to call this one House. It's important to notice whatever you type as the name of your building affects the camera controls of the game. You notice when I typed the letter E, my camera shifted a little bit. The same thing happens if you have a name with a W, an A, an S, or a D. And the worst letter is T, because if you have a blueprint with a T in the name, it will switch you to the advanced camera mode. And then the buttons do completely different things, and the scroll speed is much slower. So if your camera suddenly stops working while you're writing the name of a blueprint, it's because it's got a T in the name. And you just have to press T again, and the camera will go back to normal. Anyway, so I've named my blueprint. I'm going to call it House. And now you can start building your blueprint. There is a way to sort the building materials, but it's not super reliable right now. So the best thing to do is just to take this little arrow and drag the menu down so that you can see a lot of the building materials at once. You can use the mouse wheel to scroll down, but you can also click and drag, which is much faster. So I'm just going to build a really basic house. I've already built a path here so that I can align the house to the grid. I'm going to start with just a wall. Oh, sorry, that's not the right wall. This is the one I want. And when I'm talking about the grid, I'm talking about this piece right here. You can change how the object is aligned. It can snap to the edge of the grid, or it can snap to the center of the grid. And you can see that paths snap to the center of the grid, whereas fences snap to the edge of the grid. So if you want to build something that can connect to a path, you have to make sure that the middle of the building is snapped to the center. In other words, if I built a house, my doorway would have to snap to the center in order for it to attach to a path. The same thing applies if you're building a park entrance or a movie theater or a burger shop. You have to make sure that it's snapped to the center, or else it won't be able to connect to a path when you're ready to actually use it in your park. In terms of actually building, the system is pretty easy to use. You use Z to rotate your piece. You can hold down Z for more precise rotations. And then you just click and place your object. I'm just clicking and placing here. It automatically snaps to the wall that you've been working on. And it also automatically will place the wall above the wall that you currently have. And if it doesn't do that because it's not quite aligned, you can also use the Shift key to raise and lower the wall piece. But if you're building everything at the same time, it will snap easily. When you want to take a break from building your blueprint, you click Go Back, and it's going to have a highlight of your blueprint here. You have to click Save as Blueprint in order to be able to keep your blueprint. I'm going to click that now. It's been saved. And now if I go back to the Blueprints tab, you can see my really professional looking house. The blueprint is going to save in whatever state you leave it when you hit the save button. But it's okay to have a blueprint that's incomplete because Mesozoica will save every version of the blueprint. For example, I'm going to edit this blueprint by clicking Edit Object. I'm going to add this, just to make it different from the original blueprint. Then I'm going to hit the back button again. I'm going to save this blueprint. And then you'll be able to see, if I go to the Blueprints tab, I have the original, really great, beautiful, totally complete house. But I also have the second blueprint with the strange, maybe that's a chimney, I don't know. So every time you hit the Save Blueprint, Mesozoica will save your blueprint every step of the way, and you can make changes however you need to. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. My game crashed, which is, just part of early access. So the beauty of blueprints is that even though my park data is gone, because I didn't save it before the game crashed, I can go into blueprints, and my house is still there. Ta-da! This house is hideous. I'll have to build a nice one. But it's got both houses. Ugly house without a chimney and ugly house with a chimney. So I think blueprints are really great because you can transfer them from park to park and not have to worry about building the same structures over and over. Okay, so the next feature I want to show you is how to select multiple parts and how to move those parts, which I think is a really helpful feature. So I'm going to go back to this blueprint. I'm going to click Edit Object, and that's going to take me back to building in this blueprint. And you can see I can select each of these pieces individually, but if I click on one and then I hit Control and hold down Control while I click, I can actually select multiple pieces at the same time. And that's great. I'm going to delete them because I don't like the way they look anyway. And I'm going to build an actual nice house so that you know that I know what I'm doing. So this doorway's not so good either. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to build a wall instead. Okay. I'm going to build a triangular roof. Yep, very nice. Need a wall on the other side too. That's not the right wall. Okay, there's a wall. Got another triangle here. Okay, this is great. Looks good. Now I need to find the roof end. Is that it? Yeah, here we go. Okay, there's the roof end. So this is where the Shift key comes in. I press Z to rotate, but if I built the roof there, it would just be kind of floating on the top of the house, as you can see. So what I need to do instead is use the Shift key to lower the roof onto the rest of the house, and you can adjust kind of the height of it. But my experience so far is that the blocks come together really well. So you just line it up, you let go of the mouse button, and you have a roof. And that looks pretty nice. I'm going to make a door. Yep, looks good. Give it some windows. And a pizza. And now we have a house. I'm going to go back and hit the save blueprint in case my game crashes again. You know, this house looks pretty good, except for this part that's sticking out here. That's not so nice. So I'm going to edit the object again, and we're going to move this piece of the wall. The building pieces in Mesozoica will snap to the things around them as long as they're built at the same time. But if you want to fine-tune the position, you can use these arrows. I can move it in 3 different planes, but really I just want to move it a little bit this way so it kind of fuses with the rest of the house. So I'm going to move it just a little bit, and in it goes. Now it's a nice square house. I'm going to hit back, save it again, and there's my house. It's really important to, when you're building with a blueprint, to do those steps in that order. You have to first click New Blueprint and then start building. If you don't, then whatever you build won't be able to be added into the blueprint later. I'm going to build a hamburger kiosk as an example. Okay, so here is my blueprint. I've clicked New Blueprint. I've stuck a hamburger stand down here in my park, and I'm going to make some triangles. Okay, these triangles are snapping to the edge of the grid. Remember, we need to snap them to the center of the grid. So I'm going to just move them a little bit so that they're in the right place. Okay, that's great. I'm going to go back, save this blueprint. Bam. I didn't give it a name, so it's just going to show up as custom blueprint. But it also shows you a picture of the blueprint, so you can kind of figure out which one it is if you forgot to give it a name. I haven't figured out how to give it a name retroactively, so it's just going to be custom blueprint forever. Sorry. Anyway, so now I'm not editing the blueprint, right? If I go into the Build tab, I can still do things to my burger stand. I can cover it with pizza. Look at all this pizza in my burger stand. Nice. But if I go to the blueprint, I can't add that pizza to the blueprint. You see, this shows up as blueprint, but this shows up as pizza. And if I click on my blueprint and I edit it, I can't select the pizza. It's like a separate universe, the blueprint universe and the regular building universe. So if you want to add something to your blueprint after you've saved it, you need to go back and hit this Edit Object button before you start building. In my 3 or 4 hours of Mesozoica, I've already had many headaches where I've built half of a building without clicking this button first, and I haven't figured out a way to add pieces to a blueprint without being in this Edit Object menu. All of the building blocks start with a default brick texture. If you're not happy with that texture, you can change it, and there's a lot of different options for the textures. So the way that you do that is to go back into the build mode, click on your blueprint, edit the object, and then you can select one or more of the pieces, and you can change the textures like this. Right now it's brick. I can change it to marble. I can change the roof to tile. I'm not sure what that one changed, but that's how you edit the textures of the building. And there's also, you can change the colors of things too. Once your blueprint is nice, the way you want it to be, you can upload it by clicking this arrow. And what that's going to do is it's going to upload it to your Mesozoica folder, which you need to set up. And it's going to save it as a Meso file, which you can upload and share with your friends. Okay, that's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching.